Hello, how are we all doing? This is Scene Chat Tuesdays. I believe we are now in double figures. This may be episode 10. Really good show coming up today. A couple of things I want to go over. So there's a couple of questions that's been sent in. I'm going to be keeping this relatively short because the second section is a little bit longer. The second section, we do have Dom from DVB coming on as the very first guest. So this is, again, I just want to put this forward. This is not like the podcast that we did. Whenever I do a podcast, it will be in person, like face to face. You have a better conversation. Although I will say, I recorded with Dom earlier today, so the back end of this show is going to be pre-recorded, and it was really, really good. We did it over Teams, and it was fantastic. We've got some questions from listeners. I want to talk about the biggie that's coming up this weekend, and there will be no track reviews this week. I'm going to be doing a track review special to catch up because we're currently in double figures there as well. I think there's about 10 tracks people have sent in to be reviewed. So we'll play a catch up with them and we'll just do a listening special. And again, just a bit of a heads up as well. Next week, there will be no Scene Chat Tuesdays. I will be going live on, say, my Instagram or something next week instead. And the simple reason for that is I'm going to America tonight, actually. And I cannot wait. So, we'll just jump straight in. Little pre thing. If you've never ever seen this show before, what this is a Scene Chat Tuesdays where we just discuss the music scene. And when I say the music scene, it's sort of predominantly bouncy house, hard dance, hardcore, old school, Italian, etc. It's the northern club scene, essentially. Yeah, there's various things we go over, and essentially that's what it is. So show run for today is we're going to go questions, we're going to talk about the big event this weekend, and then we'll go into the section with Dom. So if you have got questions, if you've got tracks you want to submit, if you've got discussion points, again, just send them in to myself on any of the socials, comment below on the video, or you can email me at manicmusichq@hotmail.com. So let's just jump into it. I hope everyone's doing good, and I hope everyone had a good weekend. Well, we will kick straight in with an anonymous question. I read this before, and I thought this would be quite interesting to talk about, because I do have my 2 pence, and I do have some people who would agree or disagree. So, why does it feel like it's Why does it feel like it's about popularity and outdoing another brand rather than the music these days? Like, who can throw the biggest, most colourful, most decorated, rather than it being who can get the best artists and the best vibe in a club? I mean, neon colours and good props are fantastic. You can't beat the small clubs that's dark and dingy with some lasers, good lineup, good crowd, and an amazing vibe. We're here for the music, aren't we? Not the deco and the props. And that's from Anonymous. This is a two-ended thing here. So I love, this is preference, by the way. I love a proper underground rave, dark room, minimal lighting, big lasers, things like that. I love that. I love the whistles. I love the horns. Interactive crowd where a DJ is sort of here and the crowd are here. I don't like it when the crowd's fucking too far away from the stage. It's about connection. It's about music. That's what it's about for me. The bouncy, and well, even in general, anyone who's putting on events now, they're having to keep up with the times. With everybody are getting these big productions, like as I said, the big LED boards, the big fancy decor, the props that get thrown into the crowd, things like that. It's been popularized in other elements of dance music, and what it is, it's just a trend. Like, this will be the standard for 2 years, 3 years, and then it'll move. People will get sick of it. People will be like, oh, I miss the dark and dingy days of something else. So then it might go into another direction. It might go into, I personally don't think that, I can go to either and enjoy both equally as much. I do have a preference, and I'm in agreement with said person here of what that is. I do like it a little bit dark and dingier, but with good production. Like dark and dingy, right? When you say dark and dingy, I've turned up to clubs before. They've had fucking tinny speakers, one single laser in front of the decks, and it's just been an absolute shit show. That's not dark and dingy setting a vibe. That's just fucking lazy. You can put on big production and still have the atmosphere of a proper rave. If you invest in some good lasers and lighting, things like that, you can create an unbelievable atmosphere, and keep it true to what you view as what rave music is. Absolutely. And I'll be honest with you, like from my perspective, I love some of the ideas that are setting people apart at the minute with what they're doing in their events. Like you can ID of certain events now just by looking at a picture of the club. Oh yeah, that's so and so running who that event, and I quite like that. It does give them identity. One thing that's sort of buried within this question that I want to cover, and I think this is the main point that I'm going to make in today's discussion, is the quality of lineups. Some brands within hard house, within bounce, within hardcore to an extent, are all about the production nowadays. It's all in the, that they're putting a lot of money and thought and time into what the production actually looks like. But I do feel like the lineups slip a little bit. Whether it's people who are just booked because they played the last one, and they're not doing anything, they're just making it easy to go, oh yeah, you're on the last one, we'll just get a lineup together, and it's sort of second thought rather than we need to focus on our lineup, then we'll focus on production. So yeah, that I agree with that. I do feel like sometimes I see a lineup where they've put all this amazing effort into production, and the lineup's just a little bit fucking lazy. Like lazy as in like, in fact, low quality as well. I've seen it where they've went, oh shit, we've pissed the budget right up the wall on production. Right, let's get a fucking load of room twos and put them in the main room because we can't afford to pay. Thing, and it's good for the room twos. They're getting that exposure to main room sets, but it's not deserving of them. They're not. They can't. They don't have the level of understanding of a dance floor and being able to translate that into a big room full of people. Obviously, there will be your exceptions. That's causes people who sat in room two for years who've done their bit and they're just waiting for that breakthrough. I entirely get that. But there is a lot of room twos. The reason they're in room two right now is because they're not quite ready for the main stage. Because they just come in and they'll just fucking whack donk on or whatever, or in hard house as well. In some of the hard house rooms you see in the room twos, there fucking whack big heavy energy style hoovers at 160, and it's just moody as fuck. And you're pandering to like a niche in a niche of like, say there's 200 people in the rave, and you're playing that for about 20 people. And that's the reason you're in room two, because there's about 20 people in room two dancing. If you go into the main stage, you've got to be able to read the crowd and adapt to, right, this tune's not working, let's switch it up a bit, because the amount of people who are in room two, and it's nothing against them, there's people, like I say, who are fully deserving of that main room slot, but, promoting 50% of your lineup up to the main room just to justify filling the time because you've fucking pissed all your budget on production, it's a bit shit, that. Just my take though. I'm sure that people won't like what I've said there, but I don't really care, to be honest with you. Pay for fucking good artists, and so when it comes to a rave, regardless of production, there should be a standard of production anyways, but this is what you should be looking at, right? The venue means everything, right? Of what because it can set the tone, right? Look at it like this, right? You could have top tier lineup, top tier production, but you put it in a working men's club, you've automatically you've hit a glass ceiling with it. So you need to find the correct venue. And then secondly, or some would say even first, the lineup. You need to make your lineup banging, and yes, it's subjective of who is banging and who is not. I know people out there who think that I'm the best thing since sliced bread. I know people out there who think I am the worst DJ there is in the scene. There's two ends to the spectrum, but there's a general consensus as well. And if the general consensus of, yeah, this guy knows what he's doing, and this girl knows what she's doing, and is deserving of that spot, then fucking go for it. You know what I mean? I can't tell promoters who to put on and who not to put on, because it's not about that. But if you've got an event and 50% of the room 2 is being moved into the main room in the next event because you haven't budgeted properly, that's a promoter's problem, in my opinion. Sorry, we went a little while on that one, but feel quite strongly about that. Next question is from Flex, our regular writer. Thank you for writing in, mate. Has the bounce scene become too reliant on nostalgia? There's no denying the classics still hit different, but is the scene progressing enough musically, or are we just living off remixes and reworks of old anthems? At what point does it become about celebrating the past and holding back the future? We've discussed this on a previous episode, so I will keep this short and sweet. As a producer and DJ myself, I know that I could put out a remix, and we purposely did a remix of Better Off Alone by Alice DJ, and we made it the most generic and the most basic track there was, because we knew, we're a bit of a social experiment almost, of like, we'll put it out and see how it does. It's fucking ridiculous how well it done. It's because it's easy to, when you've got a recognisable tune, it's easy to promote it, because you put it up and it's like, oh yeah, I know that tune, and they'll share it with the mates, etc., etc. You start writing original music, people are very hesitant, because like, I've not heard this before, and I don't think it's got my seal of approval, or it hasn't got another DJ's seal of approval to go, this is a good tune. I really love the people who think for themselves, who like, oh no, this is a good tune, and they're the people, the small niche within our scene who push for new music. I'm one of them myself. I'll always listen to everyone's tunes, regardless if it's a remix or whatnot. But we've found we do like an original, then we'll do a remix, we'll do original, then a remix, because if you keep doing the remixes, you get the traffic to your pages or your SoundClouds or your YouTubes, and then you get the trickle down effect and going, oh well, he's done 4 or 5 great remixes of tunes we know. Let's see what else they've got, and then like, I don't know this title, but I'll give it a listen, and there you go, you've got a new fan straight off the bat. If they enjoy it, so I do think there needs to be more of a focus by the people at the top of the scene, to be pushing for original music. I know Finchy and Kenty did a full album recently. I reviewed that. That was fantastic. The fact that they're trying to move and push boundaries with this, a lot of the music on there wasn't for me personally, but the fact that they were trying so many different styles of within the bounce realm, so like little subgenres, like some of the tunes sounded a little garagey, some of them sounded a little bit more banging, a lot of them sounded quite euphoric, and again, just throughout it tells a bit of a story, which was good. It was like a bit of a concept album. I really enjoyed it. If you haven't seen that, go and check that out as well. It's really good. But if they give me an album and it was just full of one style, it can get a bit bland, regardless if it's original or not. So it's always good to spice it up a little bit. Like, you'll notice with our tunes, yes, a lot of our stuff's melodic and euphoric, but then if you look at the like Check One, or if you look at Far From OK, they're proper in your face banging bass tunes. They're not like, there's a difference. Again, we did We Are Free. It's not really one of our most popular tunes, but it certainly doesn't sound like the rest of the stuff we do. We just try new things and stuff that we enjoy. And yes, some of it doesn't work, some of it does work. That's what it is. It's all trial and error. So, in answer to your question, is the scene reliant becoming too reliant on nostalgia? Yes, they are. It's absolutely reliant. I'm one who falls for it myself. You yourself, Flex. Every time you've sent tunes in, it's been old stuff that's been remixed. Everyone's reliant on it. It's just the way the economy of our scene is, and it's the same for hardcore. There's a few new bits of hardcore that comes out with hard dance. The track there's occasionally new bits there, but a lot of it's rework stuff. The stuff that I've been playing from the hard house side of things has always been sort of like reworks, because it's the stuff that catches my eye. I'm like, oh, this is banging and good, and it's just the way it is, unfortunately. But if you've got new music, and this goes to anyone who's listening, and it's original, if you send it over to me, I will give it a listen, and I will help promote it as well. I will help promote original music all the time, because the only way this scene will progress is if we do promote the new music, because it will get stale to some people. It absolutely will. That said, when it comes down to doing new music, it can be a challenge to promote it. I find it's easy to write original music. The challenge comes when you're trying to get ears to listen to it. And by the way, some of the DJs now I've seen who I really like and respect, they are playing it too safe, and they won't play your tunes, and that's just fact. And the people will turn it down and go, if it's a good tune, it's a good tune. Nah, I've seen people be sent tunes in the past and not play the tunes, and maybe another DJ will. And once it's given that like seal of approval where it's been club tested and it works, all of a sudden they're all over it. So it's as much the producer's fault as it is the DJ's fault, as much as it is the promoter's fault, as much as it is the raver's fault. Because the ravers, they want to dance to stuff they know, right? Which is it's pretty normal. But if you play 70% old stuff in some cases and remixes and stuff, and sneak in that 30%, it becomes more acceptable. And then over time, the stuff that's in the 30% will go over to the 70% because it's acceptable stuff to play. And that's how you keep bringing in that new breed of tunes and originals. And then from there, the event promoters, if you're just constantly running classics nights or reunions and things like that's where it fails. We don't want to become a scene where we are just... And I mean this with a lot of respect, by the way, what I'm going to say. Like a Zone or a Fever or the old school scene in general, really. And there's nothing against the old school scene, but the Zone thing or the Fever or whoever it is within the old school scene. I say that because they're the two prominent names who come straight to my mind. Is you can't play new stuff there because they want to relive. It is about reliving a certain year and a certain era of music, and that's fine because they don't want to progress into something and evolve into something, and that's absolutely cool. But if you're in a scene to push forward and you want to establish new artists and you want it to grow as an economic scene where there can be bigger and better and events and people do progress and there's new artists come through, then you do need to not become that, because people will go out and go, I want to pretend it's 2005 again, I want to pretend it's 1995 again, and it's not good. Because if you want that, go to something that's like a purely a classics event, like Reminisce Festival, perfect example. Go and relive 2005 or 1995 if you want to. That's cool, and there's purpose for that. But if you want a scene to progress and grow and have new ears, new eyes, there's going to be a point where it will just start turning in on itself, and it will just be the same people, and it will grow at a very, very minute rate, because there'll be like new faces who go, oh, I remember this from my mum listening to it, or my dad, and then that's where it becomes like you get like a couple new people every so often. But eventually, then people with the mums and dads who listen to it, they will move on to the next thing, because what happens is they won't listen to it at home, and it just becomes smaller and smaller and smaller as it goes along. Sorry for waffling there, but I feel quite passionately about this. If you want to keep a scene alive, like the bounce scene, like the hard house scene, you need to have new blood all the time, bringing it in. Yes, it's good to have the names in, but if you're sticking a DJ on or a producer on or an MC on who've not done anything in 20 years, 25, 30, 35 years as a nostalgia act, and you're claiming to be pushing the scene along, it's counterproductive. It's taking a spot of somebody who's sitting there hungry, wanting that opportunity to play. And it's just unfortunate that's the way things are, but it is what it is, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? I did the same thing last week with the dream lineup. I tried really, really hard to go the dream lineup for the people who's right here, right now with those variables. And purposefully, I could have said, BCD, Alex K, KB Project, these people who did tunes 20 years ago, whatever it was now, 15, 20 years ago. It's good. Like, that, I'd want them on. They are my dream lineup. That's my whatever. But if you're saying dream lineup for here, right here, right now, this is what you should be doing. You should be looking at who's current. Look at some of the names I give off there. I know for a fact, because I received a message on WhatsApp saying, "Oh, it's a bit of a bold call to put X person on." I'm like, yeah, but they're hot right now and they're doing really good stuff. And the reason they're not getting on these events is because their space is taken by somebody who's done fuck all in 20 years. And that's the basics of it. So yeah, that's that. One thing I want to discuss now before I move on is events. So, big event this weekend. In fact, it's colossal. It could be event of the year. I would have been there myself. In fact, I would have been playing myself this year again to return. I got booked for the... Was it the... It would have been the Saturday at the Back to the 90s stage again, I think it was. The classic stage, essentially, playing trance. Well, unfortunately, I can't make it because I'm on holiday. But it is Pier On The Pier. It is this weekend, the ultimate weekender. I mean, just look at this lineup here. Andy Whitby, KB Project, Nitro M, Ben T, Hannah Taylor, Ricky Gray, Rob Tessera, Mikey B, Matt Wigman, Imogen Live, Mr. Bounce, Bounce Assassins, Rob Thurston, Daz Birchall, Gary Hypnotic, Taya, Key Hughes, Pete Monsoon, Rob J, Pete Daly, my man John G, Ectic, Rick Shaw, Shanks, Gary Hallcroft, and Scott Hoy on the Saturday. Pretty stacked lineup there, if you ask me. There's some, obviously, your Pier On The Pier regulars and your BTID regulars. And then on the Sunday, I love the Sunday. This lineup here, I'm excited just looking at it. Right, David Rust, club filler. Kutsky, the absolute boy, I love him. Lisa Pinup, fantastic DJ, one of my favourites. MKN, I love MKN's reverse bass stuff. It's quality. Then you've got Ultra Beat, which is Ian Redman and Cover, Ben T, Rob Kane, the man Rob Kane playing there, Mikey B again, Nitro M, Ricky Gray, Joe Taylor, Daz Birchall, Brad Pickle, DJ Kenty, Danny Walsh, Tommy G and Pow, the General Bounce, Dave Gray, Alan Ben, DJ Angel, Rob J, Blend, Scott F, Holly Lucas, and my man Gary K. I mean, stacked lineup all weekend, and obviously you've got your hosts for the weekend. You've got Keo, FEZ, Cover, and Wilco. Pretty good, if you ask me. Pretty good. I don't even need to sell it. Blackpool Pier, the annual biggie. It's class. I'm going to put a bit of a PSA out here. I'm not going to be there this weekend, which I'm a bit gutted about, but, I'm going on holiday, so, can't complain. It's a first world problem. But my public service announcement is, if anybody listening, going, sees any of the Manic stuff played, whether it's the stuff on our label, whether it's the stuff on that we've put out ourselves, can you grab a video of it? Just want to see how the crowd reacts and if they enjoy it. That's all I'm asking. And we'll play a game as well, right? And John's going to hear this. What we'll do is, right, if you go and tell John if you see him and say my top 3 manic tunes are X, Y, and Z, and John will grab your name, and if we agree with the top 3, and even if you go right, top 3 is, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to write them down. This is just a little bit of fun. Write down my favourite 3, John's favourite 3, and whoever gets closest to the top 3 manic tunes, in our opinion, we'll send you out a free USB with the full back catalogue on. So yeah, just a little bit of fun. Go to John and say my favourite tunes are and there you go. You could possibly win yourself a USB. John's going to absolutely hate that. I've just decided I'm doing that right this second. And yeah, if you enjoy the manic stuff, go and check John's set out on the Saturday. I'm sure he will be playing some of our stuff on there. That'll be fun. And again, there'll be some top DJs. I do believe, if I'm not mistaken as well, there is after parties at level 4 for BTID. So yeah, that's the events for this week. I'm sorry if there is other events on, but this is the one that for our scene. There's some old school there. There's some new bounce. There's some hard style, hard dance, and whatnot. I think this ticks everyone's box personally. We're going to move on now. This is a new section of the show. This week we're debuting it with Dom from DVB, and it's essentially, like I say, it's not a podcast. It is a chat about his thoughts on the scene currently. We talk about, his psychology behind music and how they come up with their ideas. If you're a producer, it's quite interesting to listen in on. And how being a DJ and being a producer influences your decisions as a producer. I think that's a big thing in there as well. We talk about his content. Obviously, you will have seen some of his videos. He puts out a lot of content now on his page. So we cover that as well. So without further ado, Dom, welcome to the show. And here we go. So we're joined today for the first Scene Chat Tuesday with a guest. It's something a little bit different, and what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be on with Dom from DVB. And in this, it's not going to be like the It's Time to Refresh podcast at all. It's going to be very much Scene Chat Tuesdays. It's not going to be a deep dive into his life or him as an artist. It's going to be very much subjects of right now. It's going to be subjects of questions and things like that we receive from people. So Dom's been essentially, how can I word it? He's been interactive throughout the whole process of this, and he's wrote in questions. He's been part of the community, and obviously sending in tunes and stuff like that for review. We're going to plug one of your tunes in a minute as well, which is My Money. But yeah, welcome Dom, first guest on the Scene Chat Tuesdays. How we doing?
Yeah, good. You?
Not too bad, mate. We're not going to beat around the bush with this. We've been trying to make time to do this, and it's been a bit of a rush round, but we're here now and we're doing it. So I'm not going to keep you for too long. It's not going to be like a 2-hour podcast like we did before. If you want to go back and watch DVB's podcast, both Dom and Ben were doing their podcast. And it was, what was it now, 3 years ago maybe?
Yeah, I think it was like the week after I'd just come back off holiday. So yeah, about 3 years ago.
Yeah, so like 3 years ago. So if you want to know like the backstory behind DVB, if you want to know everything like that, I'll put a link in the description and you can go back and watch that. With this, we're going to be talking about whichever guest I have on, it's going to be related to Scene Chat. So whatever that may be. On this one, there's a few things I want to go through with you, Dom, if that's all right. One's production. Primarily, you guys are known as DVB, the producers who make your style tunes. Second's about the DJing, because you're quite an active DJ on the scene. Secondly, obviously, I want to talk about you now as DVB, the content creator, who's putting out all these videos and things like that. And then lastly, I've got some questions about what your thoughts are on some of the questions we've received in on like today's scene and things like that. Are we all right?
Yeah.
Nice one. Nice one. So what I'm going to do is just to kick it off, I want to like throw it over to you. When it comes to production, I know a lot of people will be watching this knowing that DVB's on here. When it comes to production, I don't want to know your secrets. I don't want to know, you know, the VSTs and things like that you use. You can explain that to everyone else in the comments if you want, but I want to know like the psychology behind like how you guys come up with a tune, how you developed your style over time, and maybe just give me a bit of a history about it.
Right, yeah. Well, it's one of them. For me, it's slightly different for Ben. So we've kind of like merged our style together over time. But for me, it's like the influence probably came more from like the Spanish bumping harder side. You can probably hear that with like the remixer, say, Burning Up. That's like quite harder, like more riffy. Horny Bastard as well. Just something a bit different. We like that main first Vice Versa EP, Rabbit in a Hat. They're a lot harder compared to the usual DVB stuff. So it was like that, but the riffs and stuff, I think me and Ben both have a very wide music, what we listen to. Like, look, very different types of music. It's not just bounce. It's not just Spanish. It's like you'd have Black Sabbath or Foo Fighters, Oasis, stuff like that. I think Ben's like riffs are sort of like guitar riffs in his head.
Right. You can definitely hear that. Definitely.
Yeah. So he likes to contribute that and merge it in. And I think it works. I think that's our style, really. But yeah, I think, like you say, it's merging other music that we listen to that's outside of the bounce to get our influence in our sound, really.
No worries. So when it comes to production, this is what I want to get at with this is, I know that you did, I know at least Ben recorded it, but like a breakdown of like how you guys put your tunes together. I'll put the link in the description for anyone interested in that as well. But with this, like when you approach a tune now, and we'll talk about My Money, that's your latest tune if I'm not mistaken, or is it 24/7 that's your latest
24/7, yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about
24/7.
When you approach doing a tune, how do you approach it? Like obviously with 24/7 you probably had the vocal. Like how do you come up with your ideas and things like that? Like do you sit down on a blank canvas or do you take notes and bring it into the studio? What's your methodology?
Nowadays it's usually I'll find something. I wanted to do 24/7 for a while, but just never got around to it. And then I found a cappella online searching for something else, weirdly. And I'll just start it on my side. And sometimes I'll send it Ben, are you interested? No, so I'll try and carry it on. Sometimes he's like, yeah, I'll have a go at that. Bring it round Wednesday. We'll go around and we'll crack on with it. But there's never really any planning. It's just the vocals there, start from the first intro and we just see what comes. Like sometimes we can be having 3 or 4 sessions and nothing happens. Like it just doesn't work. And then it's kind of like, right, let's just scrap it. It's not going to work. But sometimes the song just writes itself. And within 2 sessions, I think, we're done 24/7. That were like mixed, mastered, and sent out.
when you started with that, then just to give you like a bit of an insight, you threw the vocal into the project. Like, did you have an idea of what direction you wanted to go in, or was it like we'll start with the drums, or we'll start with a riff? How did that work in particular?
It usually starts with a riff. I think for that one with like I think Ben, I'd sent him vocal, and Ben said he just had a riff come to his head when he was in the shower or something like that. And he's like whistling it out. He's like, I need to get that down. And then when we turned up, he'd like just jotted the riff down, and then we put the riff to one side, and then we build the rest of the tune. But other times it's just something. We never really have. We have a style in mind, but we never have anything like let's work on the drums. It's just find the kick, start with your kick, find your bass, put your crashes in, and then you build the loops. And by the time it gets to breakdown, we kind of know where we're going with it due to what kind of bass we have.
Right.
Really.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna link this to the next bit, and this is what you call good hosting at its best. Now that you're starting to get like more bookings, and like it is noticeable now from where you were, say, 5 years ago to where you are now.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Do you find that you make different decisions as a producer because of DJing, like your knowledge of, say, like the dance floor, or knowing, this will work in, like when sometimes when I write a track, I have like a certain venue or a certain type of night in mind when I'm writing a track. So this will work at this. What you mean. So has that made influence, or has that changed you or progressed you along as a producer, now being more active as a DJ?
I think as a DJ, if we do make 2 or 3 songs, might only play 1 song out of the new 3 songs for a particular night, because it's not going to work like the other 2 songs. Because it's one thing about like DVB, the songs are so different from, like, if you put 24/7 next to My Money, next to Rabbit in a Hat, there's 3 completely different songs there.
I agree.
So for that way, it's like we don't really. Like, we'll do a set starter for a night in mind, and we'll kind of use that, envision what that night's going to be like, and work the set starter around that. But in terms of producing a song specifically for a night, we don't really do that. But with that varied with our tunes from one to the next, we never know how it's going to end up when we start it. So...
Okay, so again, with like the DJing side of things, then obviously it's starting to go really well for you. You've been playing some really really good events over the last like couple of years. I want to ask you now. It's like we'll get into the specifics and what events you've been playing and things like that. But I've found now, me and you had a conversation over, I think it was Facebook Messenger or something, about like, what if you're booked as DVB, what is the percentage of DVB tunes you would play? So over the last 2 or 3 sets you've played, what's been your approach to it? Because I know we had a conversation off camera about this, but can you just like walk me through that a little bit?
Yeah, so originally it was just full showcase DVB sets with me and Ben, and then I feel like I've kind of come away a bit, and I'll say if I do a set of 12 songs, maybe 14 songs, I'd say 4 of them I like to throw something that's not been played for a long time, or a crowd pleaser that obviously no one on the lineup has made. So there is like that, but there's also like times where I'll get asked to do a classic DVB set, and you can chuck the odd, say, one of Ben's really old ones, like Under Vapor B or whatever, like something slight or lethal beat or something like that. Just, it's still kind of like an old alias that we can use. Nice. But in terms of, like you say, playing other people's tunes in the sets, I have started leaning that way, especially when it's a back-to-back set. It don't really matter then, as long as I get the iconic DVB tunes in there, as well as a few little bits here and there that makes me stand out from the other sets that I've done. So
that's all right. Yeah. So obviously we've talked about how you come up with a set and how you approach it and that. Can you, like, I want to go into a couple of specifics of events and stuff and how you've found that now, like with regards to DJing. So am I not mistaken, the last gig you had was Donny Warehouse, is that correct?
Yeah, that were,
Doncaster Warehouse. You've recently played, where else is there? You played Pure for This Is Bounce as well, recently.
Yeah, I'm trying to think when that were. I did Lukey P's in February for his hidden birthday bash as well.
Oh, yeah. So with these then, how are you finding like DJing in 2026? Like, obviously you're going out as DVB, but like, are you finding it as enjoyable as you once did? Is it a new crowd? What's the difference between sort of when you're doing full DVB sets versus now?
We're getting a lot of back-to-backs now, and I've been back-to-back now with Joe Taylor twice, and both times I've loved it. I think me and him play together, play really well, different tunes, and I like the excitement as well of not knowing what's coming before me. Nice. It puts you on your toes, doesn't it, when you're back to back? always thought if it's back to back, it should be 2 mixes each.
Definitely.
I think if it's half an hour each, I get that you can pre-plan the half an hour, but the vibe just doesn't seem to go. Like the energy just, it's that and then it's that. There's no mixing styles together. But yeah, I've enjoyed it. I've really enjoyed getting these bookings and being able to do something a little bit different. I did a Sank as well at Blackpool Tower.
Oh, nice. Nice.
New Year's Eve. And again, I threw a couple of like bumping stuff in like mid-set, just out of nowhere. It's one of them, you're scrolling for something and you see something else, you're like, the vibe, like if the energy's right, let's chuck that in.
Nice.
And,
nice.
Yeah, it's one of them.
With regards to saying going back with Joe, obviously I can see your styles are very compatible. You've got that vocally like same-ish style, but it's quite rushy stuff as well. I think it works really, really well. I imagine it was pretty fast you were playing at Doncaster Warehouse as well in comparison to normally. I think
it was 155.
I don't like that, but like obviously it fits that venue, and I understand, but it's mental. And again, with gigs like now, you said about playing back to back recently with people. What's the perfect set for you as a DJ in 2026? Like, are you if you were to get there and play like an hour, and you play a mixture of your own stuff and somebody else's, or would you prefer doing the back to backs where it's a mix each, 2 mixes each?
It's a tough question. I do like the control of knowing it's just me.
Yeah.
But I do like being on my toes. I think it depends who the DJ is with. If it's going to be someone like Joe, then I don't mind that at all.
Okay.
But like you say, with your own set, you can kind of guide what's going to come. You know what you're going to play roughly. You've got a big playlist. I don't plan my sets, but I do like to have a big folder full of... Then again, saying that, I've done that, and then on the night, I've just completely bagged that folder off and gone and found something else on USB. Because I'm like scrolling up and down, and I'm just thinking none of these are going to really work or keep the energies going. So there is that. But yeah, for now, I'm quite enjoying the back-to-backs.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice. What about like... Again, this may be you might be something you're interested in, but what about like MCs as well? What MCs have been on your sets recently?
I've had Finchy, Lukey P. I think it was Mackie at New Year's Eve.
Yeah.
And then there were a couple at Hidden for Luca on there, obviously, and a couple more. But yeah, as MCs go, like, I think I like the hosting style with Luca and Fincher. I've had Jonak as well. Jonak's good at that.
And do you think that they're masters of the craft? And I'm not going to speak for you, but obviously you can let me know what you think. But from my end, they're people who enhance your sets. Like, I did sets with all of them in the past, and every time they know when to let your tunes breathe, and they know like I know with Finchy at least. I think with Jonak, I've done it with Jonak as well. They just give you a little like a nod or thumbs up just to let them know there's a vocal coming in on the drop or whatever like that, and they give your time to shine almost. Definitely. Am I right?
I think with Lukey as well. Well, sorry.
I
think with Lukey as well. Lukey knows. I think I might have to edit that bit out.
Don't worry. Natural conversation.
With Lukey, he kind of knows the tunes as well. And I think it helps when they know the tunes so well. They know when to dip in and out and when to get the crowd hyped up, ready for the drop, and they know what's coming. So I think it definitely helps when the MC or host or whatever knows who's playing and what they're playing. So there is that.
Not going in blind as well, I suppose.
Yeah.
And again, with your sets, am I right in thinking that you had no MC on Doncaster?
Yeah, there were no MC, but I think it worked. I don't think it needed an MC, to be fair.
Nice.
Nice. It weren't something that someone like looking around, like thinking it's missing something. Yeah, it just didn't need it, and I'm not sure why that were, but it didn't. So yeah, it was one of them.
I've got one more question on the DJ, and I'm going to move on to the next subject. But with that, with regards to having an MC on and things like that, I just want to ask: do you think it changes maybe tunes you play, or does it stay exactly the same? Like, do you think, oh well, I haven't got an MC, so I can maybe play more of a certain style, or if you have got an MC on, maybe I should lean towards other certain tunes?
No, it definitely changes what I play. I noticed it on a Sank a while ago, a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
I think I was playing harder stuff for the MCs, like Time to Jam and stuff like that. Because I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, the MC should really work around the DJ, but I do like to think you've got to try and work together. And if it's a night with MCs on, then the crowd's wanting to hear the MCs as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So I feel like a lot of people go to these nights with MCs on because there is MCs on. Otherwise, they go to nights without MCs on. So you have got to kind of play harder tunes, or tunes that have less vocals and more room for MC to do what he does.
No,
So
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that. Right now, and this is a bit of a controversial one. I'm going to ask you one more because it just popped in my head just then. Now you're talking about it. Do you think that in some cases the MCs are bigger than the DJs in 2026 or not?
No, I don't think so. No.
Do you not think so? No.
Do you?
Somewhat, because the only reason I'm asking this is we got a question in last week or the week before, and it was talking about like people promoting themselves, and like right now, as far as like people being in people's faces and things like that, look at the videos that say Bounty's putting out. They're very, very MC focused, and it's like like I know people who've been, say, starstruck over like a Finchy or something like that. But then,
that is true, yeah.
And sometimes it does feel bigger. Because I know it's certainly the Northeast scene, and I probably get a little bit of shit for this, but in the Northeast scene, in the Makina scene, I can guarantee you, like, the names of your Stomping, your Stretch, Turbo D, everyone like that, they're essentially bigger than the tunes. Like, people look at the MC lineup before they look at the DJ lineup on them events. But I don't think it's quite. I don't think it's quite that way in the bounce scene, to be honest with you.
No, I think there is like your standout MCs that everyone knows, everyone wants to go see. But overall, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm biased because I am a DJ. I don't know.
Definitely. And yeah, as I say, I want to move on to this subject as well. And I think I'm just going to give you the floor with this and you can explain it for yourself. So obviously, like, I've done the podcast, I've done various things, but you've always been sort of DVB, the producer, and, you know, you haven't really put yourself out there as a face on the screen, but now you've started doing this social media content things. I want to know, firstly, how you're finding it, and secondly, like, are you enjoying it? And just go into a little bit of detail. I'll give you the floor and you can explain yourself.
Yeah, I think it started really. I'm just looking at the page, up and down the page, all that. When we've not made a new tune, there's not much content, and everything nowadays is content. I think we spoke before privately about branding yourself and stuff like that, and it kind of clicked. It was like, yeah, we've got these tunes or whatever. I've got a fucking big hold of vinyls, so like, why not try it? So I just started off trying to just, let's have a play this tune and video it and see what we get for engagement. And then I thought, I've got this camera now to video my sets. That was like always on the list, but I was like, should I do it? Should I not? And I thought, well, when I got booked for the Bowlers gig, I thought that's a good enough reason to get some footage for myself.
I agree.
And then I thought, I'll take it down in Warehouse and we'll see how we get on with there. And then, like, listening back, I was like blown away with the quality of it, and I enjoyed like looking back at the set. And even then, I was critiquing myself privately.
No, I get it. I get it.
But then I thought, well, might as well start making videos with it. And I mean, even now, I don't like being in front of the camera, but I think that's just something that takes time to get used to.
Definitely.
But like I say, everything's social media. Like nowadays, bookings come with people who are active quite often online. and it helps if more people are following me and I release a new tune, more people will hear it, so to speak.
Of course, no, definitely. I do think, right, I'm going to put this forward, like, and correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm like, out of order or anything, obviously, just let me know. But obviously, I started sharing music videos, put my sort of self in front of the camera a little bit more about 2-3 years ago. And I found that talking about tunes that I love, whether it's on vinyl, whether it's digital, and like just explaining why I like it and things like that, it made me fall in love with the music all over again. Do you find that like you've got a reignited fire because you're going through your vinyl collection going, fucking hell, I remember that tune, and like going through all again?
Yeah, definitely. Just by look, like when I pick like on a Monday today, I'll go through all my vinyls. Well, I'll go through a section of them and I'll think, I'll take videos of them, and then I've got them for the week. And I'm like, bloody hell, I've not heard that in years. I didn't even know I had that. And some of them, I bought a big like bundle off someone years ago, and I'll have bought it for some specific Dutch tune or something like that, or a dinker. And then the rest of them I've listened to briefly, and then years later I've actually read it and thought, fucking hell, I didn't even know I had that. But another thing why I started it as well, I thought not many people know me as a DJ. It's always the DVB production, and producing the song. So it's like, it'd be nice to get on the decks and actually show that I can DJ as well as just make tunes.
No, that's good.
And it's not just a certain type of bounce, it's like a full range of whatever I've got.
I'm going to give you a little bit of a backhanded compliment here, so don't take it as like an insult or anything like that, because I genuinely mean this wholeheartedly. No, when I first met you a few years ago, like, obviously I think we talked online and things like that, but when we actually like met in person, I think me and Ben were talking about it, and we were saying you're a proper character. Like I find you, I think you're dead funny. Like just naturally like funny. We had like such a laugh when we recorded that podcast a couple of years ago at yours.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes, I'm not saying that the music's about personality, but like when you get to put a face to the music, you maybe interact with it a little bit more. Like, there'll be people now watching your videos thinking, oh, I quite like him, he's good, and then they'll give you music an opportunity and go, fucking hell, his tunes are real good, and it's maybe an audience that you wouldn't have had before. Do you know where I'm coming from?
Yeah, definitely. To be fair, you're not the first person to say that. When I've put that bloopers video on, one of my good mates said, like, I think you'll do well because you're quite like funny without trying to be funny. But he said, like, you can laugh at yourself, so that's like one of best things to have, really, like where you can just laugh at yourself.
No, definitely, I get that, definitely. Go on, sorry.
Yeah, I'm going to say it's just like a personality in it behind the name.
Well, look at the likes. I know obviously we're not on the same level as him, but like look at the likes of Fisher. Like he's massive.
Yeah.
Basically because of his social media. Yes, he's got tunes and stuff like that, they're big, but that's more complementary to his personality. But like I think primarily I see DVB as a production group, then into DJs, but adding that bit of personality as well, it's not going to do you any harm whatsoever. It's going to accelerate your success, in my opinion. So I like that.
Yeah, hopefully.
Before I move on to the last part of this, and I want to ask as well, when it comes to the content and stuff, I know you do you put like a vinyl preview out, and you're like, oh, I remember this one, I remember that. I know you mentioned about finding your old SD card and doing them type videos. Your Stitch ones, where you put the fucking Stitch mask on and mix blindly.
this whole thing.
yeah, exactly. So with that, like, what I wanted to get at, obviously they're just things that you come up with and you probably found some inspiration from somewhere. Is there anything content-wise that you're planning on doing in the long term? Is there anything that you've just maybe a couple of ideas in your head? I'm not saying it and then the people are watching are going to go and steal doing it, but like, is there anything you thought, I might give that a go at some point soon as well?
No, not crazy or like that, but I do think I need to start doing like a live on a Friday night or something, but I'm not really sure how to go about what the best platform or hope like that is. I don't really know how Facebook deals with that kind of stuff.
I'll give you a bit of an insight, mate. Don't, honestly, it's fucking hard. Like, not there's nothing hard about it. Like, if you're passionate about the music and you like playing tunes and whatnot, it's class. But it's the copyright issues that we face now.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know about yourself, but obviously I put music up a lot on my page, and I'd say every second video I'm getting a copyright thing saying you need to pull this down or you need to mute this and stuff. And it's painful. So when you do a DJ mix, like I do the Manic Sessions last Friday of every month, and I was going to do the live through Facebook, and then it was going to go across all platforms, across like YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, etc. On Restream. And first time I tried it, it got pulled within like the second tune or third tune. I was just like, it's not even worth the effort.
No.
I think if you were to do a live, because I think people would tune into it, something like a YouTube live, or I know you can do like Twitch now and things like that. I know it's a whole new platform and stuff, but like there is ways and means about it if you wanted to do it, I suppose. And I'm sure your followers would follow you.
Yeah. It's worth looking at, I think.
Definitely.
Other than that, it's just a case of buying more vinyls.
Yeah, definitely.
I got a little in on waiting 2 weeks, so I need to put some money aside and start buying some records.
No, I know what you mean. It's addictive buying records as well, isn't it? Like, I know right now I was getting emails every day off my want list on Discogs saying, there's this one just came in stock, whatnot. And I was like, I had to remove everything and just put everything in like on a manual list, because I found myself every day buying new records. And it's like, you look back at like your transactions on your bank for the month and all the Discog sellers, and you're like, shit, my missus is not going to be happy about this. Like, fucking...
Yeah. I've done the same. I kept getting an invite for Club Caviar versus Powerhouse. And I think every week there's like, you need to buy this, and every week I'm like, do I buy it, do I not buy it?
Yeah.
But like, it's constant, isn't it? But I've removed about 20 off my want list, because it's just constant notifications, and then because I've got an addictive personality and I'm impulsive, it's like, I'll just buy that. And then it comes, I'm like, I've spent a lot of money this week.
Yeah, exactly that. I'm the same. So like, when it comes to like records, but sometimes like you go, it's a tenner a year, 15 quid a year, and then you look at it, and at the end of the month you're like, fuck me, I've put a couple $100 into just buying records, and trying to explain that one to the missus. But yeah. So yeah, that's your content side of things. What I wanted to ask was, right, this is going to be like the sort of closer for today. I'm not going to keep you too long. I know you've got your own shit to get on with and whatnot. But it's about today's scene. So from when I'm not going to say when you started to where you are now, what's your opinion on the scene right now? Are you noticing that, like, I'm going to give you a couple of like buzz sentences that are what subjects we've covered before, and then you can just go into it. But things like, what's the crowds like at the gigs you're at now, like Doncaster Warehouse, Pure, Hidden in Burnley, all these places. Is it a younger crowd? Is it an older crowd who's wanting like classics? What direction, in your opinion, do you think the scene is in today? Is it in a healthy position? Is it in a place of concern where numbers look a little bit quieter than it once was? Is it, this is what I want to see. I want to see what's your take on right now.
I think I have to have a think about how I word this.
No worries. Go on.
Yeah, I think overall the crowds are quite young.
Okay.
There is a few of the older lot, but I feel like I don't really DJ any classic nights. So imagine there's like two groups of people in our scene.
Yeah.
There's your diehards who love the classics, and they won't branch into the new stuff because it's shit, apparently.
Yeah.
And then you've got your younger lot who like a bit of both, but mainly the new stuff and branching into your hard bass sort of thing. It feels like the hard bass is like what Porky and Bumping were a few years ago. Everyone were playing it, everyone were hammering it, and then all of a sudden no one seems to be playing Bumping much anymore and stuff like that. So I feel like that's just the new craze at the minute. But the nights have proper like leveled up, in my opinion. Like when you look at, you've got This Is Bounce and going to bowlers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
The venues are like mental, aren't they, for bounce? And then, but when you think back as well, when I first started out, a lot of the venues were like little clubs and like rush pits underground, and they weren't massive, were they? They were a few hundred people, but it was like shoulder to shoulder, like proper sweat pit, and it would just be like a lot. I don't know. It weren't these bigger events are more of a showcase, I think.
No,
back then it was just
that. I get that.
a different vibe.
I think it's healthy to have both, though. Like right now, you have places like I know Underground's quite popular at the minute. There's a place is it Bad Habits in Blackpool. There is a couple of other like smaller venues where they're getting that underground feeling and whatnot. Like, are they as busy as the showcase events? No, they're not. But they're not meant to be either, type thing. So I think there's a bit of everything there, but I don't think that Bounce had the level of show that it's got now. When you were talking about things like This Is Bounce, Corruption's on there as well. I know that Bouncing, I know Lee and lads there as well. They put on like a bit of a showcase now. One that I want to give a shout out to was obviously Howard last week or the week before. Pure. He had a theme of like whistles, horns, all that shit, and it's just like,
hey, it looked good. That
it's fucking. People are putting effort into making their event stand out. I remember when
definitely.
Kurt, do you know you like house music, that don't you?
Yeah.
So when El Row first came about, and it was like this is
crazy,
different and fresh.
Floats everywhere. Yeah.
I think it's very much like a progression of Manumission, because obviously Manumission was a bit out there and I wouldn't say flamboyant, but like definitely out there as a thing. And I think it's like the people, do they come to the events for the DJs and MCs anymore? A lot of percentage of it, probably not. Do they come for the showcase of what people are putting on now? The big LED screens, the big lasers, the amazing sound systems. They probably are coming for the production. A lot of the people, like, because it looks cool. People like cool. You remember back in 2010-ish, the bouncing had a bit of a drop off because it wasn't cool anymore. You go to these house nights and it was a bit, I think I remember this mad craze of everyone getting like saxophone players at house events, and it was like just to be a little bit edgy and cool. And I feel like that's what bounce is doing now. It's trying to become a little bit cool in itself, and I like that, by the way.
I think it's different now though with social media and everyone on their phones taking videos and stuff. You want a big production like. When Kenty does it, it's like there's videographers everywhere. So you've got stuff to show, haven't you, on your socials?
Of course.
And when you look at the video, you think, I should have gone to that, or like. But whereas back then, there's no videos around. There were no productions. It was just decks, mic, MCs, DJ, and then just loads of ravers. It was like there was nothing really else going on. Whereas nowadays, I think a lot of the younger lot that are coming through. They like to take videos where there's a big LED screen behind DJs. There's all sorts going on, like hanging front roof and lasers going on. I think it's good for like the content. It's good for the ravers who like to take pictures and videos of the night. And sometimes you just go, don't you?
It's evolution, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's just evolution.
Yeah. And there's not that many nights, I don't think, as there were back then. So I feel like they put more effort into one big night where everyone comes together rather than loads of little nights around different towns.
Definitely. Well, as you say, you used to have like Maxime's Pier on a Friday and Saturday. You used to have like Sank used to be a weekly thing at one point. You'd have, on all these events would be like monthly or bi-monthly. Now, if you see some of the brands who do 4 nights a year and they're evenly spread and they're all spectacles and events rather than just turn up at a rave on a Friday. I like that. I think it's anticipation and it builds towards something. It's really good. Right, what we're going to do is we're going to tie this up now. I'm just conscious of time for you. But what I want to ask is, right, and I'm going to ask this to everybody. So unfortunately, you don't know the question that's coming, but I'm going to put you on the spot right now. As a DJ, over the last sets that you've been playing over the last, say year or so, what's the one tune in your box that's been like, oh, this is going off wherever I play it? Or what's been the number one killer tune that you've been playing?
Got to be a DVB tune, isn't it?
No, honestly, no. What if it's a good % chance it will be a DVB tune because that's who you are. That's the tunes you play. That's what people come to see. So if it is a DVB tune, go on.
I played 24/7 at Doncaster, and that went off the best. but I've only just made that. So I say before then, it's weird because every time I do This Is Bounce Rock like that and I play Make Me Fly, it goes off every time, and it's one of the old ones.
Is that DVB and Brad D Make Me Fly?
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. 2012? Would that,
Something like
is that
that,
about
yeah.
yeah.
It's I think it was around time of Give You.
Yeah.
Yes, no, that might be too. No idea.
Right.
All my dates just get muddled together anyway.
No. Honestly, it is a tune that. Do you know something? If that's the one that's killing it for you at the minute, fucking well done, because it's not like it's a big remix of a tune from yours. It's not a massive vocal that from like a known vocal. And if the younger generation of ravers are going out today and you play that tune and it's going off, fucking, that's a testament to DVB. It's not a testament to the vocal. It's a testament to that you're probably making today's classics. Like, do you know what I mean? When people look back in 20 years' time, like I look back now at things like Give You that you did, Get Up and Dance, things like that, and I think to myself, they're probably modern classics. And give it 10 years, people will be looking back on that going, that era, when they think back to that era, they think of them tunes. So you know, definitely.
I get asked quite a lot to play Give You or Bulletproof. I get asked to play Bulletproof quite a lot. And they all seem to be from that little era where I think because the younger lot remember it when they were younger. Does that make sense? Like, they're not that old. They're like my age now. Yeah. So that their nostalgia is different to someone who's 20 years older than me who thinks back to like
2000
tunes.
Yeah. From that era, what sticks out to me, I like things like Give You, I like No Reason, Asian Love Affair.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. I forgot about No Reason.
Yeah, that's a quality tune. That Asian Love Affair is a good tune as well. Make You Fly, obviously. All of them tunes were like that. To me, that's what put DVB on the map. Like, it was an era where there wasn't many producers doing absolute killer stuff, but the stuff that I feel like a lot of anticipation was coming for DVB tunes. When there's a new one uploaded, I remember going on to, I don't know why it sticks out to me, but I think it was on the old Bounce Heaven download store, the DVB stuff. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
If you remember Bounce Heaven, like when AJ had it, I'm sure I used to download my tunes off there for DVB stuff. I could be mistaken.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, there were a few like that we did over years that I think when we did Fall for the Sun, me and Ben, and it was a remix of Hoxton Hall's Sunrise, and I think we. I came up with the idea. I sent him a cappella. I said, "What do you think?" He said, "Yeah." And then I think that was the era where it was like tapering off and people going into house. So if you do listen to it, like the bass is very like housey and it's a bit slower than I know, like our usual DVB stuff.
Okay.
So like we changed the style, I think, and like when we look back, it's like I wish we'd have just kept it harder. But you don't, do you? You go with what's popular at the time, and then you look back, and you shouldn't have really gone down that road.
It's hard to anticipate because, do you know something? It could have been the decision that could have blew you up as like a mainstream artist. You could have went, oh, well, we'll just make something that's a little bit trendy, but still DVB, and that could have elevated you. It's a risk you have to take. There's the amount of tunes that I've made and I listen back to and go, I probably shouldn't have done this or I probably shouldn't have done that. There's more rather than less that I think about. But either way, you look at it as a journey. I've just listed a lot of tunes there that was from that DVB era. Then you've got the next DVB era. Then you've got the DVB versus Dom R stuff. Then you've got the modern stuff that you do. All different eras, and you'll look back at them fondly for different reasons, and and that's what it is. But yeah. So I'm just going to tie today up with you, and I just want to say thank you for coming on. You are the debutee guest of Scene Chat Tuesdays, so
perfect.
I know, thank you. I wanted somebody who was a big contributor to what we do and things like that. But yeah, I just want to say thanks for coming on, and again, continue contributing towards these because it's really good having people to write in questions and bounce stuff off as well, and I do appreciate it. You've got We've got a list of about 20 or 30 people who every week, straight after the thing, I wish they'd comment on it, but they don't. They send me private messages on Facebook or WhatsApp. And it's like, oh, I enjoyed this because of this. Or you were correct about this. Or I disagreed with you because of this. And I'm like, I love the community we're building. So I just want to say thanks for joining me on this as well. And if you don't know who DVB are, I'm sure you do if you're watching this, because he writes in a lot of the time, and we've had tunes on it that we've reviewed. But I just want to say, go and give him a follow. Go and check his stuff out. He's got a brand new track out now. Is it on Bouncy?
Yeah,
but so it's on Bouncy. It's called My Money. It's a real good tune. It's got some like old school style riff in there, and I quite like it. He's got a new tune out. It's not out. I think it's on your SoundCloud and YouTube and things. That's that 24/7 remix.
Yeah.
And as well, like if anything else you want to plug, is there any events coming up that you want to plug?
Yeah, the big one is Bowlers, where This Is Bounce and Corruption. Can't remember the date. Let me know.
7th of June, is it? 7th of June. I've just guessed that, by the way.
The launch, 13th of June,
13th
Bowlers,
June,
Manchester.
Okay.
And then I've got the All Day in Burnley at the outdoor event at Hidden, and then it goes to Fusion. That's June the 27th.
Is that bouncing?
That is bouncing.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah. Nice one. So, if you want to see more of Dom, go and check his videos out on, I think they're on Facebook, they're on various platforms, and as well, if you want to go and see him DJ live, go and check that out at those venues. Both really, really good venues in their own right. So, I'm sure there'll be good parties. And again, thank you for joining, Dom, and I'll see you later.
Not a problem. Cheers.
Nice one.